Namaskar, my dear viewers. I've always believed that real heroes, they are not always wearing the uniform. At times, they are wearing the muddy boots and spending months in forests. And they dedicate their lives to protecting creatures of whom we have never even heard of. Yes. And today's guest is one such person. She recently received what's often called the Green Oscar. Not because she became famous, but because she chose to protect a tiny salamander living quietly in the Himalayas. But this conversation isn't really about these salamanders alone. It's about purpose, it's about courage, and it's about choosing a difficult path when easier ones exist. So please welcome Dr. Barkha Subba. You're welcome, Dr. Barkha Subba, to our Radio Gham Chhaya. And I know we connect taking the help of technology and trying to make the most of it through this conversation of ours. And thank you so much for all your time that you have given to us.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
So, first of all, Dr. Barkha, congratulations on the Whitley Award, often called the Green Oscar. What was the very first thought that crossed your mind when you heard the news?
I still remember it was 9th of February when I got an email from one of the from one of the Whitley staff, and then yeah, first it was disbelief, and then yeah, I was shocked, but then yeah, the realization slowly it, and I was really happy that I can carry the work forward.
And, Dr. Barkha, I know that you have spent your childhood in the Darjeeling Hills. Was there a moment in your childhood when you realized that nature wasn't just something you loved, but something you wanted to protect?
Um, yes, I grew up in Darjeeling Hills, uh, surrounded by mountains, tea gardens, and also forests. And my grandmother, she she also used to tell me a lot of folklores about mountains, forests, snakes, spiders, and tigers all the time, and watch nature documentaries with her. And I also used to go to the forest for foraging for wild fruits and vegetables. So this way I was connected to nature from my childhood, and I was also very curious about what exists in the forest. So my choice of career, in a way, has been extension of my childhood curiosity. And when you are close to something, when you are connected to something like the nature, you cannot turn blind eye when it is threatened. So yeah, that has also influenced my career choice in conservation and wildlife.
Beautifully summed it up, your life, how it began. And, Dr. Barkha, what happens is that generally we find that children, they dream of becoming doctors, pilots, or maybe even actors. But what was it that made you choose, conservation science?
Tell you the truth, honestly, when I was growing up, and then when I chose to take biology and also zoology in my master's, and also environmental biology during my master's as a special subject, it was just my connection with nature. It was there, but I never thought I will become a conservation scientist, because that kind of vocabulary and that kind of exposure was not there in Darjeeling. So I could I could have become my aim in taking up these studies, which is related to wildlife and nature, was someday I will become a college professor. So and then guide students and then teach them. about nature and wildlife. So that was it. But then when I learned about all these opportunities that were there in the field of conservation, so I was really excited and really wanted to pursue it. So that's how it happened.
And if I was to ask you to describe the Himalayas, which are so vast, but if you were to describe them into three words, what are the words that you would choose for them?
Okay, three words. Oh my God. Uh, Himalayas, biodiversity, culture, and the third pole of the world. Yeah.
Very, very well said, and you have been a part of it. It's there with you always, and I can see it with the way you express yourself regarding the same. Um, Frankly, Dr. Barkha, if I was to be very, very honest with you, uh, many of us would not even know about salamanders, and to be thinking about them, to be taking care of them, and I reason why I'm talking about it is that what is it that an average person needs to do and why? And why should we
Uh,
know about it and why does it need to be taken care of?
about the salamander, why a
Yes.
common person should care about it, know about it, or care about it. So it's a very interesting question. Thank you for that. Uh, First of all, this Himalayan salamander, it is amphibian species. Most people don't know that. Also, it comes with frogs, toads, and so amphibians are those animals. When we say amphibians, we think about frogs or dhaguta and all. But salamanders are also amphibians because part of their life they spend in water and part in land. And during the breeding season, they come into the water and then there they mate and lay eggs, and then the new generation starts from there. So anyway, first of all, the about the distribution of the Himalayan, particularly the Himalayan salamanders, they in the whole world they are found only in patches of in some patches in Darjeeling and in Nepal in Ilam and in Bhutan, but the Bhutan population has not been confirmed yet that it is Himalayan salamander or some other species. So, uh, so you can see this is the only population we have left, which is concentrated in in Darjeeling and a small part of Nepal region. First, rarity. Okay, so it's a very rare species. And Himalayan salamanders are also indicated species. Uh, Also, like a canary in a coal mine, no? Whenever there is a danger, they are the indicators. They are the first ones who will get affected. For example, in a marshland, if you suddenly start seeing that the salamanders are disappearing, so it indicates that something is wrong in that ecosystem. The ecosystem is not in balance. And next is it is also a keystone species. It is like a glue holding the whole ecosystem together. Like in that wetland, there are other species of animals and plants as well. So this Himalayan salamander gets predated upon by birds and snakes and frogs also, and then they also eat insects. So they maintain the food web that way. And during the winters, they go into the jungle and then burrow into the soil, and then they rest for the winter for 3 4 months. So when they burrow into the soil, so they also contribute to the soil structure, so that more water can be that more water can go into it. So it's a so it has a lot of ecological function, I would say.
Okay. Uh, so, Dr. Barkha, I know that we human beings, we have been very, very foolish when it comes to taking care of nature. And because you talk about conservation and because you are so deep into it, knowingly we are doing a lot of things. But is there anything in our daily life wherein there is something that we are doing unknowingly and it is harming the nature a lot?
When we say conservation, most people don't talk about it. You and me here, we are talking about it because we know the other subject is going to be conservation. But if you go into corporate sectors or any business sectors, so there people hardly talk about conservation. And also in developing countries like India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, people are so busy with day-to-day life and day-to-day needs and surviving itself that conservation hardly comes into the conversation. So what I would request everybody is that make it a part of everyday conversation. Conservation doesn't only mean uh, protection of a biodiversity or protection of one special species. It means conservation really means the protection of the conditions that allow life to exist uh, with balance and integrity. So, yeah, that is what I would suggest. And I think people already know what they are doing wrong and what they are doing right. मतलब सोए हुए को आप जगा सकते हो पर जगे हुए को तो नहीं जगा सकते हो. We just need to be conscious about what we are doing. So be mindful about our everyday activities. So that is all I can say.
वेरी ट्रू, वेरी ट्रू। बहुत सही बोला है आपने कि जो जगा हुआ है उसको कैसे बोलेंगे कि भाई जाग जाओ। तो हम सबको पता है वेयर वी आर फॉल्टरिंग एंड वी जस्ट नीड टू टेक केयर ऑफ दैट। एंड बिकॉज यू सेड दैट कॉन्जर्वेशन के लिए कॉन्वर्सेशंस होने बहुत जरूरी है। Is there any one particular habit that you feel that everyone should adopt to be able to somehow contribute in the positivity for the environment?
Mm, I would say reduce consumerism, uh, avoid fast fashion. Mm, So, uh, so, try to reduce your carbon footprint and yeah, avoid using plastics if possible. So these are some of the things, and then get involved. See around your city, around your town, something is happening, uh, like bird watching. So if I ask somebody how many brands do you know, they will immediately say 5 to 10 brands. But then if I ask somebody, can you name that bird? How many birds name do you know? How many birds can you name? So that I don't think I don't think anybody will can answer that. So once we know something, and once we go to the forest, then we start caring for that environment, for that forest. But we cannot. It is usually human nature to not care about what you don't see, what you don't understand. So just build that connection, I would suggest.
Very well said, very well said. This fast-paced life that needs to slow down. Indeed, it surely needs. Dr. Barkha, you have worked for so many years in the forests and the wetlands. Uh, is there must have been n number of moments when you must have felt that this is the best day of my life kind of a thing. But anything that you want to share that has stayed with you?
Mm, yeah. So, right, I've been working for now almost 15 years for amphibians in the Eastern Himalayan region, especially in Sikkim and Darjeeling. So, every time I'm in the field, I'm just like, I feel alive, and then I forget about the world. I'm just there and in the moment, I'm doing my thing. So, I don't know what particular things I can point out. So, long time back, there was we also discovered highest elevation frog, which is called the lazy toad, is found in the Gurudongmar Lake, and Gurudongmar Lake is very high. Oxygen is less, and then all that, and I had to go there and then find that frog during the rainy season, and we went there, and I I got this altitude sickness there because that was my first time. And I got very sick for some time. But then again, I thought, "Okay, I have to find this frog. I don't know when I will come next." So I just got up and then went to the lake and then I found that frog. That was just such a happy moment for me. And Yeah, it really stayed with me. And another moment is about the salamanders. Just a year back, we were restoring a wetland. It had become very dry, and then salamanders were coming, not coming. We didn't know, but then we just restored it, with putting some plants, salamander-friendly plants, and then water and dug up a small pond, and then all that. And then it had been weeks that we were monitoring that site, and suddenly one day we saw a few salamanders coming into the pond and then swimming happily, and then all that. So these are the moments I think I really makes me happy.
Wonderful. To be able to, fight the issue that is with you and still be able to work for what you have been told, that shows your dedication and love for the species that is so close to your heart. So, Dr. Barkha, because you are always in the forest and you are working around in the near the wildlife, have you ever had any such encounter wherein you've been left speechless or maybe a little frightened too?
Okay. When I was working on frogs in Sikkim, we usually went out at night. We started at 7, walked for 2 hours mostly, and then reached the spot. It would be a small stream, so we would walk up and then count the frogs and then all that. So that was a very good experience. And then a lot of times my field assistants, I'm really thankful to them. I'm here alive talking to you because of my field assistants only. A lot of time it felt like, okay, I'm going to die now. I fell down, and then at night you cannot uh, that concept is not that say how fast the stream is flowing. It just there is a light and then you're just walking up, up, up. But then next day if you come and see the stream, you wouldn't believe how much uh, how fast the stream is. So that way, yeah, I think yeah, had near death experiences many times and then saved by my field assistants. So yeah.
So, because you are a conservation scientist, I want to know what is the biggest misconception that people have about them. Because when we look into the documentaries on screen, and now, when I'm sitting with you and talking to you, I want you to break any such myth that we have about it being such a glamorous and wonderful job. It must be for you in a different way, but what we see on screen and what it actually is, if you can talk about that.
Yeah, when the documentary people they come and make a film, they usually show activities that is happening in the field, and uh, those are the moments when you see a species and then you are really in the action and then all that. But most of the time, we are also behind our computers with our data and then trying to analyze things and then trying to figure out what to do next. And if something has been the results are not there, then how to rectify that. So a lot of time we are behind our laptops also, which are not actually shown in the video. And also a lot of our time, I I would like to, I'm an ecologist and I would like to be in the field most of the time, just in the forest, just watching birds or salamanders or frogs, this, that. But sadly, we cannot afford to do that. That is a luxury that we cannot afford because uh, there are also a lot of stakeholders when you are working as a conservation scientist. You work with communities, you work with the forest department, you work with political leaders, and then also in my case, tea garden managers to bring them all together. And also specifically for Himalayan salamanders, the habitat is mostly the habitat is outside protected areas. So I have to work with the communities and to convince communities, spread awareness, and to say that your livelihood is as important as conservation. Why don't we do this 50-50? And all those things, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time, which is often not there, which is not very glamorous, but it is also backbone of what we do as a conservation scientist.
So, Dr. Barkha, you were talking about having worked with the tribal communities, and at times I feel we learn a lot from them, and the things that are not even taught us in the textbooks. So, how has been your association with them? What kind of learning has it been there for you, which was never there in the books?
Okay, so the local communities, they have been at the heart of my conservation journey so far. With my PhD work, when I was working in the Sikkim Himalaya on high elevation frogs, and also my current work on Himalayan Salamander and wetlands of Darjeeling, conservation of wetlands in Darjeeling. So I've been working with the communities throughout, and they have been the strongest supporting pillar for my work. And as in we get a lot of data from science, but then uh, equally valuable what the local communities provide is the traditional ecological knowledge. Where are the species found, if they and if the population has changed over time, and folklore stories, all these things we find only when we communicate with the local elders and the villagers. So yes, they have been my guide throughout this conservation journey.
Right. And we
And
find them,
also,
yes, please.
sorry.
No, no, please.
Yeah, and also I would like to say that when we lose this traditional ecological knowledge, we just don't lose the stories. We also lose some kind of this generational observations which can help us for conservation.
Very true. Correct. This is a very major thing that over the generations they have been observing and guiding their folk, and also I feel that they are very much in sync with nature. Whatever they do, it is all
Correct. Yes.
with a lot of humility and with a lot of gratitude towards nature. But we find, Dr. Barkha, that people have this kind of an attitude that uh, why should I get into this field of conservation? Why should I take care of it? It is not going to impact me. That kind of attitude we find people having. How do you bring people on your platform and teach them that what is the importance of this?
Uh, yes, so I think we cannot uh, simply tell people that you have to care about conservation. That is not how it works. For people to care about something, they have to relate to it. And we work with many communities, and also we hold awareness programs for schools and colleges, which is also in my upcoming planner, by the way. And there we do not straight away start with there's a lot of dogs barking. Shall
Sorry?
I continue?
Yeah, please continue.
The okay.
No, it was okay. Somebody here had
Uh,
switched off the light. So because of that, there was a
oh,
little.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll just, I don't know. They just started barking a lot. So,
We can't hear
yeah.
anything. Nothing can be heard this side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So I'll just start with that sentence.
sure.
When we during this awareness programs, we don't straight away start with ecology, ecosystems, biodiversity, or endangered species. We first ask them. So there is a forest outside your forest, there is a wetland. So what does it provide you? What is the importance that you feel it has to you in your everyday life? And when we ask that to the villagers, they just get it. They recognize that the forests are important because uh, they control microclimate, and then they provide oxygen. They are important for some people, um, for collecting these NTFPs and all those things. The provisional services are there, and for some people they have spiritual value. They are beautiful, aesthetic value, and all those things. For wetlands also, when I talk about wetland, so what does a wetland provide? The villagers say that they are like sponges, that aquifers. No, they just absorb water, and then it is a reservoir, and then also they feed the downstream villages with water. So all these things are there. So after that, we it is easier for us to connect the dots, first like salamander, and then wetlands, and then to the forest, and then to larger issues like climate change. And in this, as the conversation flows, we also try to put in the 9 planetary boundaries that scientists have identified, that is and also how we have already breached 7 of them. Climate change is happening, air is getting polluted, and there is freshwater depletion everywhere. These are the problems that we face today. These are not the problems for future. So that is how we try to connect the local people the with the smaller ecosystems that are around them, and with the larger issues that we are facing as a humanity. So yeah, that is how it goes.
Correct. And when you talk about these nine unitary positions, and we've already breached it and reached the seventh one, it is indeed scary. And people who are in the urban areas, who are always using the ACs and forever on their four-wheelers for whatever little distance, I think all of that matters. And because you are in such a place wherein you are looking at the impact that it is having on the wildlife, and you are talking about climate change. So, how hopeful are you, and what would you suggest to people in the cities?
I am hopeful. That's why I do what I do. And also hopeful doesn't mean that that I don't know the reality of the situation. I think for me, hopeful is a choice that we make, knowing the challenges, the uh, how big it is, but then still wanting to act, still wanting to do something about the crisis that we are all facing. So, like you asked me, what would be my message to not only to people in the cities, but all everybody. I would say that um, even if climate change is solved, that is not the end of the problem, is what it is, because climate change is just a symptom of so many things. And unless we address the ecological overshoot, that is how we consume, what we consume, how much we consume, unless we become aware of what we are doing, and try to live within the ecological limits of the earth, then I think there is still hope for us.
Correct. So basically, we need to be really, really conscious and get into the conscious living every moment of the day that we are
Correct.
awake.
Yes. Yes.
Very,
Correct.
very correctly brought out. And Dr. Barkha, if I may ask that, uh, I know you are generally, I call you as the hero with muddy boots, but what does Dr. Barkha do to unwind? What is your go-to thing that you would like to do?
Um, so I, Sweta, I'm not a very outgoing person. For me, unwinding would mean just doing simple things like cooking a good meal and reading books and doing some gardening. Uh, and also, I really value the solitude, the time I have with myself, and then where I can heal. And then, as a conservationist working in this field, uh, it's sometimes become very emotionally draining for us. So I think all of us need some time to heal and then regenerate, and then again face the problem with a fresh perspective. Having said that, uh, the situation we are in right now, I cannot afford to be not, I cannot afford to not talk also. So, uh, so I have to talk to the communities. I have to advocate for climate problems, and then hold awareness programs. So, so yes, but whenever I get time, I just get into this slow mode of life, and then do all these things, slow things.
Right. So, if I may ask, when you look at the Himalayas, generally you feel in awe with them every time I get a chance. And you are very, very close to them. And I feel that every day is a new learning for you about nature, knowing about it. But how is it for you there in the Himalayas? What is it that keeps you moving?
So yes, I think the answer would be definitely Mount Kanchenjunga.
Okay.
I am very fortunate actually, because from my village house, if it is a clear day, then I can wake up to a clear. I can just open the window and wake up to a clear view of Mount Kanchenjunga,
Yeah.
and it's been there every day most of my life, but it has never been ordinary. And as you know, Mount Kanchenjunga is not only a mountain for most of the people living in the Eastern Himalaya, it is also connected to so many of our myths, folklores, and spiritual traditions. And then we also worship Mount Kanchenjunga as such. And also, hearing about all these stories has also shaped how I think about nature. I don't think about nature as something only where we can extract resources from. For us, living in the mountains, the nature, the mountains are, the forests are something worthy of respect. So, so yes, Mount Kanchenjunga. It whenever I look at it, it's I'm filled with awe, and also looking at how ancient it is, and then how small I am in front of it. It's really a symbol of humility and hope for me.
Okay. Very beautifully brought out. And when you talked about the folklores and the stories and the spiritual aspects of it, I think we can have one proper episode or a series on that separately. But moving
Yes.
on, so Dr. Barkha, because you talked about the Green Oscar that you have received, the Whitley Award, and you said that you've been working on the Himalayan salamander. All of this put together, what does it mean to you, and how did it come to you? What was the work that you were doing behind it?
Uh, when I started my work with the Himalayan Salamander, which has not been many years, I was actually I was actually surveying the status of habitat. In the last survey was in 2014, and then I was just looking at how it has changed over the years in the past decade. And that is how I got to know about communities, how the habitats are disappearing, how unregulated tourism has been affecting the habitat. And there was a real danger that this species will disappear within our lifetime if something is not. So I was really trying funds and then institutional support to carry on this work because my project had, and that time the Whitley Award came about, which which is such a powerful acknowledgement of the need of urgent need to conserve the Himalayan salamanders and also the fragile wetland habitats here. So that was one thing, and it was also an acknowledgement of the work that I have been doing, and it also pushed me further to work more for the species and for the wetlands and for the mountains. And I think, yeah, it has also helped in bringing out the indigenous voices for Himalayan conservation. So I'm really thankful.
I would also like to know that what are the choices that Dr. Barkha makes in her life when it comes to quick answers and quick choices? So I would like to do one quick rapid fire kind of a thing. wherein you have to choose either of the two. So, shall I go ahead with that now? So, first and foremost, let
Sure.
me know, is it sunrise or sunsets?
Sunsets,
Sunsets, all right. Mountains or beaches?
both, but mountains.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
टी ओके दार्जिलिंग वाले लोगों ने टी बोला
Yes, yes, Darjeeling, Darjeeling, because
Your favorite bird, Dr. Barkha?
oh, I'd say whistling thrush.
Okay. And one word that you could say for nature?
Resilience.
Resilience. Very true. Yes. And
Yes.
place in India that you think nature lovers should visit?
Northeast India.
Northeast India. Okay. And any book that you feel has changed your life?
Yeah, I would mention two books, but yeah, this book, The Meaning of Life by Viktor Frankl. And if I'm allowed to say another, it would be Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. These two.
All right. You are, as it is, a voracious reader, if I may say so, because I remember you saying at one given time you can read three books at a go, right?
Yes, because I'm too greedy, I think. I want to get something from all the books. Yeah.
Right. And are you a morning person or a night owl?
I am a night owl, but then trying to become a morning person. Yes.
Okay. All right. And what, if I may ask you, what is bringing this shift?
I think it's just I'm becoming old
Ah, no ways.
and I'm trying to I'm trying to follow the circadian rhythm and then trying to keep up with nature.
All right. Do you think that there is, besides Himalayan salamander, is there any animal that you feel catches your attention?
Mm, um, yeah, um, I think the uh, this hornbills, I really feel for them because yeah, they also are in a lot of trouble, and then but then there are conservationists working on that. But yeah, the hornbills, all species of them, really need help.
Okay. I find them, on my balcony often at my place.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Dr. Barkha, now that we are wrapping it up, but I would want you to talk to our viewers and I want you to also tell them what is it for you to be a conservationist working for all of us. And I think for that, I really need to, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you and your entire team for, working with so much of love and passion for everyone. So, what would you like our viewers to understand and any message that you want to give to them?
um, so my message is really very simple to all the viewers of this podcast, and yeah, so it is consume less, be aware of the environment around you and how it is changing, and help conservation in any way that you can, and also for the women and young girls who dream about coming into the field of conservation, I would like to tell them that 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 your perspective matters, your idea matters, and the future needs your leadership, because there has been a lot of scientific studies on women's role in conservation. When women are involved meaningfully in some kind of conservation, then they make uh, a lot of changes, like the forests they regenerate faster, biodiversity thrives, and also the community becomes more resilient. So yes, I would tell them to be courageous and then curious, and then also show up for what you believe in. And last but not the least, do not fear rejection. What I've learned from my journey so far is, uh, when rejection happens, it feels personal, but then it always redirects us to the way that we are meant to walk. And yes, that will be my message.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Barkha, because this was a beautifully brought out message, especially I feel for the women, for the girls, because earlier they used to say that if you teach the girls, then you teach the entire family. So here I feel if the women come forward and work on conservation, then as you said, it will not only be the family, it will be the entire community, the village that will take care of this. And once again, I would like to thank you from the entire community, from the country, from the world, for being so generous with your work and working so passionately. May the Almighty always be by your side, guiding you, and may we be able to thrive and live better on this planet Earth. Thank you so much, Dr. Barkha, for this time of yours.
Thank you so much, Sweta, for having me and for this wonderful opportunity to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was an honor, absolute honor. Thank you so much. So, yes, friends, that was Dr. Barkha with the Whitley Award, and all the way from Darjeeling, wherein we made the best use of technology and understood a lot about conservation, understood about how important it is for all of us to take care of the wetlands, to understand about Himalayan salamander. I heard about it for the first time, frankly, and learned so much. I loved the passion with which Dr. Barkha is working, and it shows in her work and it shows in the awards that she is achieving in her life. So, take care of your environment because, as she said, we are not taking good care of it. And we really need to first respect to ensure that we live happily.
रेडियो घाम छाया गोरखाली को माया